Hey my loves, welcome back. I promised you another video and today we have Skylar. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notification so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Now let's get started on this look. Okay, so after I have cleaned her face, I'm prepping the skin with one of my favorite primers, Angel Veil by NYX. The primer serves as a barrier between the skin and the makeup to protect the skin and help the makeup last all day. Next, I'm applying Brow Freeze by Anastasia Beverly Hills to keep her brows in place. Now I'm going to create the brow with my brow pencil Goof Proof by Benefits in the shade 4.5. Also remember, when creating the brow, don't build in the beginning of the brow. This is how you create the ombre effect or light fade to dark. Use your spoolie to help you blend. Now it's time to conceal the brows. This is what's going to make your brows pop. Here I'm using my favorite concealer, Born This Way by Too Faced in the shade Chestnut. You will always see me use my smudge brush when I conceal eyebrows. The brush that I'm using is by Real Techniques. You can pick it up at Ulta Beauty or a local drugstore. Smudge until the concealer is smooth and even. Concealing the top of the brows is purely by choice. I like to do it because, as I said in my first video, I love a crispy brow. Now with that same concealer, I'm going to coat the eyelids. This is going to serve as my eyeshadow base. Remember to use a concealer a couple shades lighter than the skin so your eyeshadow can stand out. With my Morphe M521 brush, I'm going to apply the transition shade. Although it's a bronzer, I'm going to use it because it's all the same and can be used as an eyeshadow too. I'm using the top shade from the Juvia's Place Bronzer Tan palette. Now I'm going to use the dark brown shade Koofaroo from the Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. This is going to be for her lids. This shade is so pigmented that you really have to blend, but you should always be blending your shadows anyway so that they mesh together. Wipe the fallout from the shadows with a makeup wipe. This is why I always do eyes first. Okay, so Skylar had a little bit of dark circling under her eyes. For this, I used an orange concealer by LA Pro. The purpose of this concealer is to prevent the dark circles from being seen under the foundation. No matter how full coverage my foundation is, I use it anyway. Also use it to spot check blemishes and dark scars. Okay, now it's time to apply her foundation. Here I'm using my all-time favorite brand, Nars. Her shade is New Caldonia. I like to use a beauty blender versus a brush. To me, the beauty blender gives it an airbrush look when brushes can sometimes leave streaks. Remember, soak your blender in water and squeeze the excess out so that it swells up and puffs up. Never ever use a dry beauty blender. Okay, so let's get to one of my favorite parts, and that's highlighting. Use the same shade that you use for the brows and the eyes. Pay close attention to the areas I'm highlighting and the technique. Okay, so here I'm using a lighter shade concealer to give her a brighter under eye. This is Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Butterscotch. I'm also going to use it on her forehead and down the middle of her nose just to brighten these areas up a little bit. Using my pop brush by Real Techniques, I'm going to blend it in the skin. I love this brush because of the way it's shaped. It makes it easy for me to blend the concealer without taking away from it. Here I'm using my beauty blender to blend out any harsh lines and make sure that everything is well meshed together. Now it's time to set the concealer. I'm using Laura Mercier in the shade Translucent Honey because of her darker skin tone. Oh, and just to mention, you always want to concentrate this powder underneath the eyes to prevent creasing throughout the day. Okay, let's carve and snatch the face. I'm using the top shade in the Juvia's Place Bronzer Deep Dark palette. Watch the areas I'm contouring and the hand motion. Now, with my black Opal concealer stick, I'm going to contour and slim her nose down a little bit. This is in the shade Suede Mocha. Take your beauty blender to blend the lines. You should never walk out the house or let your clients walk out with harsh lines on the nose. Because of her darker skin tone, I'm going to use Laura Mercier translucent powder in the shade Deep to what I call cut the contour on her cheeks. This is going to make her cheekbones more defined. Because I want to keep her under eye bright, I'm going to use Sasha Buttercup powder to define her nose and catch any eyeshadow fallout when I smoke her under eye. My favorite liner is Maybelline Studio Gel Liner. I love this liner because it dries and it doesn't smudge. Here I'm just using the color black. As y'all can see, Skylar is just a big ball of fun. I just love her energy. Here I'm going to coat her lashes with black mascara before I apply her lashes. Any brand will do. This angle brush by It Cosmetics is so bomb. I love the way it applies my bottom eyeshadow because it's so precise. You can pick this up from Ulta Beauty. Okay, so let's dust away all this powder. Gotta line those lips, y'all. This is Juvia's Place lip pencil in the shade Brownie. Here I'm using one of my favorite new lipsticks by MAC. It's called Shrimpton. I don't even think that they make this anymore. I really don't understand why MAC will make something that you absolutely love and then they'll discontinue it. It's just so nerve-wracking. But this is one of my favorite nudes. Okay, time to apply her false lashes. Here I'm just using a drugstore brand. I believe they are by Kiss. This is one of my favorite blush palettes. Now, if you're not an artist, you may not need all of these because it's like 3 pages of all these beautiful colors by Crayon case. Y'all know I love me some Super Scent. I'm using that brown shade. I think it's number 4 on the first page. I like it because it bronzes the skin up real nice. Last but not least, I'm going to highlight her with a rose gold shade called Glowrez by Crayon Case. Okay, so I'm going to add a little gloss. Matter of fact, my favorite gloss by Juvia's place called Glass. I tell you, every time I go to the store, I get every single one on the rack. Okay, to set this look, I'm going to spray her down with Soft Focus by Hourglass. I picked it up at Ulta Beauty. I love this because it makes everything just melt and mesh together. Okay, so do y'all think Skylar is happy with her look? I certainly think so. Well, that completes a soft glam look. Subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications. More videos coming soon.